Picture two televisions side by side. On the first one, the president of Iran is telling his people that they just won a great victory, that $6 billion of their frozen money is coming home from Qatar. On the second one, our own United States government is saying not $1 has been released. And Qatar, the country that's supposedly holding and releasing the money, won't say anything at all. Both of those cannot be true. Somebody on one of those screens is not telling the truth. And while they argue about it, here's what's actually happening. Tankers are burning in the Persian Gulf. Iran is firing drones and missiles at Kuwait and Bahrain, where our troops sit. Your gas price is climbing again, and the American people who are paying for this war in blood and in treasure can't get a straight answer about any of it. So that's all I want today, a straight answer. Let's go.
Standing for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Built upon the shoulders of the Constitution, rule of law, and the animating principle that we are all created equal. I need to hear a hallelujah, though I'm not considered a believer by some. I still believe in the warmth of heaven come. I need the rapture I feel when my feet touch the green, green grass of home. Then I know I have reached the valley of kingdom come.
Welcome to the Hillbilly Think Tank with Spencer Keck. I am the educated hillbilly. And no, that is not an oxymoron. Don't call me a moron. There have been educated, erudite, and emancipated hillbillies here in Kentucky ever since my kith and kin came through the Cumberland Gap with Daniel Boone and the Long Hunters on their quest for life, liberty, and a pursuit of happiness. I'm one of the Cumberland Gap originals, as I'm sure a few of you are out there listening here. So I'm coming at you live from Tunnel Hills here in Hardin County, where I'm running for magistrate in District 3. And I'm Spencer Keck, retired Navy doc, combat veteran, and currently a public school teacher. I've got one simple demand today. The same one I'd make at any fiscal court meeting. Tell the people the truth about their own money. And that's what we're looking for. So, can they do it? Will they do it?
Because we don't need a kingdom, we only need free air. We don't seek a king, we seek the brotherhood of man. And we won't fight for bondage as we need no king or woman.
Let me lay out all the pieces and you'll see the problem yourself. Iran's president, a man named Pezeshkian, told Iranian media that $6 billion out of $12 billion of Iran's resources sitting frozen in Qatar is going to be released and sent home. He called it, quote, a great victory for the Iranian people. Now, read that carefully. He's selling this to his own people to make an interim deal look like a win. On our side, U.S. officials say flatly that no frozen Iranian assets have been released. And Qatar, which would be the one doing the releasing, hasn't confirmed a thing. And all of this is happening in the middle of a shooting war that is anything but over. This very week, even as these negotiations go on, Iran launched drones and hit American bases in Kuwait, Bahrain, and they're answering with more airstrikes all over that region. So their drones and their missiles are still active. They also hit a tanker full of Qatar oil. We answered with airstrikes. Iran is now threatening to walk away from the table complete if we keep hitting them. And the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow channel where about a fifth of all the world's oil and gas moves, has been choked off, which is exactly why you're feeling it at the pump. So picture that. They're shaking hands at a table in Doha and shooting at each other in the Gulf at the same time. That's the situation. Confusion stacked on contradiction. Now, the honest part, and I'm going to put it first. So, before I say one critical word, I'm going to be fair and precise because that's the whole brand here, and because you deserve accuracy, not a stampede. So, let's look at it. First, that $6 billion is Iran's own money. It's Iranian assets that have been frozen. It is not your tax dollars. It is not a check from the United States Treasury. And anybody who tells you we're giving $6 billion to Iran is misleading you. Get that straight. But second, and I'm not going to stand here and tell you that negotiating is weak or that talking to your enemy is surrender. I'm a combat veteran. I've seen the cost of war up close, and I will always rather see diplomats in a room than kids in body bags. If releasing some of Iran's own frozen money is the price of stopping the shooting and reopening that strait and ending a global energy crisis, that is not automatically a bad trade. That's just diplomacy. So if you came here for me to pound the table and scream about appeasement, you came to the wrong hillbilly. At the same time, here is the actual problem, and we've got to sit and chew on it. Here's what I will pound the table about. It's not necessarily the deal, it's the fog. Because look at what we're being asked to swallow. Iran is publicly claiming victory and still lobbing missiles at our troops and our allies while it does. Our own government won't give the American people a clear yes or no. And this is the same war where, and you heard me on this, we've already shoveled $80 billion out the door and buried 6 Americans and had hundreds more wounded that the Pentagon turned around and called minor. Now, the total dead is up to 15. So on top of all that, we can't even get a straight story about whether a $6 billion deal is real. That's the scandal, not the diplomacy, the darkness. A free people being asked and being kept in the dark about a war its sons and daughters are fighting and its taxes are funding. You are a shareholder in this thing. You've paid in. And the realest currency there is. And you're getting less information than the guy watching Iranian state TV. That should make your blood boil no matter who you voted for. Now, I'm going to tell you, vet to neighbor, what it does for me to watch the officials fog the truth about a war. Because I know real families are waiting on phone calls. I have been that family when my family waited on a phone call to see if I was okay when deployed. Phone calls, emails, letters. I know how that feels. I wasn't them waiting on the call, except when my little brothers deployed overseas into the hot zone, and one lost his leg and hand, as I've talked about. And the other brother was with him when it occurred. He saw our brother come off of a medevac flight, still smoldering, smoke still rising from his body, one half of his body. Like I said before, like my brother Matthew said about our brother Kelly, when Kelly came off that flight, one half of his body looked like a Texas charred, smoked brisket. If you've ever seen what the outside of a smoked brisket looks like, it's black and burnt. That was my brother's body. So I know what it's like to be on that end, waiting to see, is your son, is your daughter, is your brother, is your sister, your grandkids, are they going to be safe while they're deployed in a war that everyone is keeping us in the dark about? That's what we're talking about. So we've been here before, and we cannot keep going back. They have to shed the light on what's going on. And here's a little something for the memory. $6 billion in Qatar. If that rings a bell, it should, because a couple of years back, a different administration unfroze about that same $6 billion in Iranian money sitting in Qatar as part of a prisoner deal. And a lot of the very same folks running things now screamed that it was ransom and a betrayal. Now, it's funny how the outrage seems to rise and fall depending on who's holding the pen, while the questions say exactly the same. I'm just asking questions either way. That's the job, and I'm sticking to it. So we have got to have our line. What is the line? Now, let me give the administration its fair shake like always. Their defenders will say, diplomacy always happens in fog. You can't negotiate a deal on live television. Pezeshkian is just spinning for his home crowd and getting ahead of the facts. And an interim deal that reopens Hormuz and ends an energy crisis is worth a little public confusion. All fair, all true, even. But here's my answer. We're negotiating. Just trust us. Only works if you've earned the trust. And an administration that looked the country in the eye and called 90% of our wounded minor and waved off our dead as that's the way it is, that administration has not earned the benefit of the doubt on this war. Transparency doesn't mean showing your cards at the poker table. It means telling the American people the basic truth about a war they've been paying for. We've paid for it not just in money, but in our own blood. That's not too much to ask. That's the floor. Now, bringing it home here to Hardin County. This is where it all lands in the end. So we bring it home because we got more skin in this than almost anybody. Think about it. We are Fort Knox's county. The kids who deploy into a place like the Persian Gulf, a lot of them come right from here, or they're stationed right up the road. The families waiting on word are our families. And every time that Strait of Hormuz gets choked and the price of oil jumps, you feel it at the Thorntons and the Circle K on your way to work in Elizabethtown. The blood, the gas, the taxes, 80 billion and counting, we are paying on every front, and we're kept in the dark like it's none of our business. It's our business. It is exactly our business. I'm running for magistrate because I believe the people who pay the bill have an absolute right to a straight answer about where their money goes and what it buys. Whether that's a $6 billion question in Doha or a no bid contract in the county. Same principle. You don't get to spend the public's money and the public's children and then tell the public to mind its own business. So I'll keep asking the plain questions out loud, and I'll keep demanding the plain answers here and everywhere that I've got a microphone. Now, See, we got some folks out here making some comments. Thanks for tuning in. Tom said, if I could believe that the syphilitic sycophants in the cult of Trump will be held accountable for what they've done to all of us. If we could only believe that. That's right. Well, y'all, we're going to keep on believing. We're going to keep on making our beliefs happen. We're going to hold them accountable. Accountability is coming. They know it. That's why they are in a tizzy. And we are their account. We will hold them accountable. Again, it's our money. It's our children that are paying for this. Y'all, I am Spencer Keck, the educated hillbilly, and this has been the Hillbilly Think Tank. Come to a fiscal court meeting. Ask your hard questions. Bring them. Whether I earn your vote or not, I'll be there with you, and we'll get those answers together. I'll see you there. Keep thinking deeply. And remember, in Kentucky, united we stand, divided we fall. It isn't just words on a flag. It's the glue that holds us together. Because if we love our neighbors as ourselves and recognize that, yes, we are our brother's keeper and our sister's keeper, then we cannot be divided and we will not fall. Remember, everyone deployed overseas, and bless your corazón. That is Spanish for heart. I hope you're having a great week. Stay cool, drink plenty of water. And this has been paid for by Spencer Keck. Learn more at spencerkeckmagistrate.com. And have a great rest of this week, whatever you do.
Standing for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.